Hello everybody, so welcome back to my channel once again. This is Sampann Narang and today I'm going to show you how to edit your car photos. Lately I've been getting into car photography and I think I'm kind of liking it and I'm going to pursue it a little more, and you're going to be seeing a lot of car photos coming across onto this channel and onto my Instagram. You can check the link out over here. So without any further ado, let's directly get into the editing. Here I have a couple of photos of the car photo shoot that I recently did at the Icons of the Porsche, and if you want to look at the video how I shot those photos, you can check it out over here on top of something on the right hand side somewhere. But let's just directly get into it. I have this photo of the Porsche GTR. I guess this is the GTR. Yes, it's definitely very amazing. I shot it at a very lower angle, and now let's just edit it. We're not gonna go overboard, but I'm gonna show you a couple of techniques that I use while editing the photos. So first of all, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do some basic adjustments, probably go up to the exposure and bring the exposure a little bit high, probably around plus 1.25. I'm going to increase the contrast, probably plus 17. Then I'm going to reduce the highlights a little because there's a lot of shadow, there's a lot of shine that is coming from the lights around, and this is quite hard to work around when it's a car and it's a glossy paint and then everything goes around pretty well. I'm gonna increase because in the shadows, the front of the car, the details are missing, so probably I'm gonna increase the shadow a little bit just to make the parts a little bit prominent. And I'm gonna work on with my whites, probably get up to 14 or something. I'm gonna reduce the blacks because I'm gonna keep a little bit of the blacks pretty dark. And here what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna increase the texture a little bit, not too much. I don't want to go overboard with it, but definitely if you're trying to achieve certain look, like a dreamy look, or you want to get a grungy look, then there is a different thing to it. But what I rather do is I rather go overboard with my settings, like going on extreme, and see how the photo will appear and how the photo is appearing. So then accordingly I make my decision how do I want to edit, how do I want to what settings do I want to keep here. So you might want to drag these pointers to the extreme and see what you like, and this can be personal preference. You might like a little more clarity over here, like increasing the sharpness and the contrast all together. You might want to go into a dreamy look like what you see right now, but this is too much of it. But yes, you can reduce. I like to reduce the clarity here because then I'm gonna go down to the sharpness level and increase it. I like to desaturate a little bit and work my way around with the vibrance, because saturation kind of overpowers the color. It blows up the color too much that the whole picture becomes too saturated and might not look good, may look good depending on the kind of photos you are editing. But here I would like to increase the vibrance a little bit, and then I want my blacks to have this little bit of a faded look. That's what I do with the thing. So this is like a curve that you guys can use. Here I'm gonna increase this to a little bit, and you can see the blacks are getting a little faded, and they get a pretty much amazing look. Now I'm gonna put one pointer here. This is like the shadows area, which you can increase or decrease, but I'll rather keep it a little bit lower. And these are the highlights. If you take all overboard the photo, it gets too much, it gets destroyed in a way. But I'd rather keep it on a little note, and these are my mid tones, and I'm gonna reduce down a bit so that I get that the light effect that is coming from all around the surroundings, and this can give your car a different look. This photo was taken in the night time, so probably I have to work a lot on the lights over here. Now I'm gonna choose my color tab, go into the color mixer. I have these reds over here, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make it a little more red, and foremost, you don't have to change the car color, because if you do so, your clients are gonna get pretty angry. I've had the same issues couple of times when I'm shooting with the cars, and I've gone given it a different look, but I kind of missed out the car color, so which they got pretty angry upon that. But now I've there's a technique that I'm going to use here and show you how you can control those colors in while you're editing. And I'm going to increase the saturation a little bit, just a little bit. And I see there is a blue greenish tint out here, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to aqua generally what happens is the windshield captures a little bit of the aqua around, and even in the daytime that happens. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce the hue towards the little greenish, and I see a lot of things. You see the windshield, a lot of things change over here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to reduce the saturation, probably to get that color from the window shields removed, and they look pretty white. So if you see, there's blue tint that is gone away. It's very minute, but yeah, these little details help you a lot in getting the right image, getting the right edit that you're trying to do. So now I'm gonna come towards the color grading. Generally you should do it at the end, but I like to do it right now and get myself, since it's the night time, I like to get a little bit of the teal over here. So what I'm going to do is my settings for the shadows will be around 226 and a saturation of around 32. In my highlights, I don't generally edit with the midtones because that can screw up your image sometimes, but yes, you can always do. I like to edit with the highlights and the shadows. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put up a little bit of the teal color over here, saturation, keeping it a very low. So I'm going to show you what we have achieved so far. This is the before and this is the after. The color, it's not too much that I'm doing because I like to keep the essence of the original image as well, plus make the colors pop. Now coming down to the sharpening tab, what you're going to do is you're going to increase the sharpness however you like it, but here the trick is press option button so that you know which parts of your image is getting sharpened up. So I only want the edges of the car to be sharpened. I don't want the whole image to be sharpened because it can spoil the image as well. Now I'm going to go to the luminance, the noise reduction. Though I can see there's not much noise, but still, just to get a little smooth image, what I'm going to do is I'm going to increase. Also in this one, I'm going to go up till 28, 30ish level, and just see there's a lot of difference. You can see if I show you over here, there's not much different, but yeah, it does make your image look a little bit nicer, a little bit soft and everything. Now going down to lens correction, you can do vignetting over here. I personally don't like vignetting, putting vignetting from here. I rather use a mask to do the same thing. Then I'm gonna go do some leveling. The best thing is do not use the leveling from up here, because if you see there's a leveling. Where's the leveling? Yeah, if you press this option, this auto button might screw up, and it's not pretty, it doesn't do a pretty good job sometimes. But what I rather use is I go down to my levels over here. So over here, if you from the transform tab, I go to the level part and it automatically adjusts the car, the level, everything. Also, if you see there is a horizon in your picture, but right now there is no horizon, what I like to do is I like to take up this angle tool and probably drag around the horizon. If I say this is, I want to level up my image according to this, so it can level up the image, it can automatically straighten up my image as per the horizon. But right now I'm gonna keep it that way because we're not going into leveling too much. I'm just gonna show you what my editing techniques are. Yeah, so coming down to the calibration, the color calibration, you can either, if you want to achieve a teal and orange look, you can go all the way from blue primary to the teal side, and the oranges and the reds, like the reds to the orange side. But here I don't want to achieve that because it's spoiling the color of the car, so I'd rather keep it a little bit on to like over here plus 17. I don't want to screw up my blues as well. I'm just gonna go towards a little bit minus 18. I'll keep everything else as is. Now the main part comes in is how do you want to use your masks. But before that, we're gonna go down to our color mixer and you're gonna find point color. So I'm gonna pick up this drop pin thing over here, and I'm gonna click on this side, which will show me the color is neutral. There's no color over here, there is a color. And if you move around, you're gonna see there is a difference over here. That means the color of the car is changing, and also because of the lights, different lights that are coming onto the car, the white color is actually picking up those colors. So you'll have to be very careful when it comes to changing this. When you're editing your photos, you have to keep it within this range if you want to see I'll keep it somewhere here, or probably not, not do anything, but I'll keep it over here. But if I see there is a change over here, I'm gonna make those adjustments as per what the color of the car is. But this is the technique that you guys can use when you are shooting the car in a daytime, because there you're not gonna find any of these lights, only the sunlight. Because again, the sunlight can also the sky color, sunlight and the sky color, they both can change the color of the car, how you look if it's a glossy one. And now I'm gonna come back to the masking. I will go down, use a gradient, because the background is pretty high and the focus is not going onto the car. What I'll do is I'll drag a color gradient over here, and I'm gonna reduce the exposure so that the back end side of the car. And what I'm gonna do is, since it is affecting my car, what I'll do is I'll go over here, click on this, subtract my subject, which it'll select, and only the background will be selected behind the car. And I can see there's a little bit of the carving, but I'm okay because I'm gonna keep my focus on the front part of the car. I'm gonna reduce the brightness a tiny bit, and since the ground is kind of popping out a little bit more, what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce another linear gradient from the bottom part up till the air. And again, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to subtract the subject from it so that my car does not get affected. What I'm going to do, what I'll do is I'll reduce the exposure, and I'll increase my clarity, because I want to give that grungy feeling. I want to give that textured feel to it, but not so much. I'll keep it here. I'll increase the thing, and I'll go down to my dehaze and put it down a little bit so that the car is popping over here. One thing for sure that you guys need to worry about is, if there are details in the front part, you definitely need to work on it. You can either use a mask, probably you introduce another brush, and I'll see my feather. I want it a little bit on the feather side. I'll increase the feather, and the size is pretty much decent enough. So I'm gonna paint or apply a little bit of the brush here so that the front part, and I'm gonna increase the brightness. See, yeah, I'm gonna increase the brightness. There's not, yeah, the grill actually is pretty nice, but because of the glare, I don't want to increase it too much. I'm gonna increase the shadow, a little bit of the shadow, so that my grill shows up. And I'm gonna go down, introduce a little bit of the clarity here, because when you do clarity, the things are gonna get a little bit sharp. I want a little bit of the texture, because I can see the grill, it's kind of a feature of the car. And also I'm gonna do a little DA so that the whitish level that you can see goes away. And I'm gonna increase the sharpness a little bit over here, and that's about it. And here's the before, here's the after. My grills are visible. You can see this pretty nice grilling going on, some grill kind of a thing going on over here, so that's kind of visible as well. But these guys, they're spoiling the image. What I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce another linear gradient. I'm going to put these guys behind, and again I'll remove the subject. I don't know if that's kind of the car is coming into between. I'll select the subject and remove my car, and then I'm gonna reduce the brightness. Bam! I think that looks more like editing, but here I'll keep it till here so that the it matches the background as well. So that's more like it. And if you wanna go onto the little bit of grungy side, I think you guys can introduce a little bit of the grain over here, but I rather keep it without the grainy part. If I introduce a little bit grain, this is what it looks like, and I don't want grain, so I'll rather keep my photo just like this. And this is the before and this is the after. Not too much of it, but at the end your car is popping. Your car has the look. The next thing what you can do is you can kind of copy all the settings and go on to a next photo, probably paste it over there. This is something some guy came in between, and I have this amazing picture over here. I can paste it. It's just gonna take a little bit of time because I also copied the masking. Now the car has a different feel to it. This is the before, this is the after, and I think I can play around with something. Let's try put on my preset over here and see how things can go. I'm gonna do a reset, and I think I'm kind of getting into this dark tone feature over here with these two too much of it, but I think this is also pretty nice. Sometimes what I do is I just chuck on a preset and do minor adjustments in there. I think this is too dark for the car. I'll have to introduce a little bit of the light here, and I'm gonna do this. Here the color of the car has pretty gone bad, I know, but you can always work around shifting your color temperature and also the technique I showed you guys. And if you like this editing tutorial of me, how I edit my car photos, and how you should be thinking, how you should be imagining that you can edit your car photos, this is how you should do. I'll put up a link of the raw file for this image so you guys can go and practice on it. And what you can do is you can upload your edits to Instagram and tag #Sampann Narang. There you can see the hashtag over here. Tag it on this one, and I'm gonna review your edits into my next video. Until then, peace out. See you.